Signature evening. Now we go straight to the quote for the day. Success is not accident, it is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love what you are learning to do. And this quote is coming from Pele. We go straight to football. The Nigeria Super Falcons secured a dominant 5-0 victory over Zambia in their Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON quarter-final match. Now, the Labia Zoili Stadium on Friday, July 18th, 2025. With that superlative performance, the Super Falcons will now face the winner of the Ghana versus South African quarterfinal in what promises to be a heavyweight semi-final clash, as Nigeria continue their pursuit of a record-extending 10th Falcon title. This performance has given more people the hope that mission to triumph is indeed possible. All right, and we won't be doing this alone. Queens is going to take it from here as we introduce our guests to the call.
Once again, this conversation is just about to start. Our guest is in the studio with us. Our guest is Ewulu Fancy, who is the former Flying Eagles goalkeeper. And the conversation is on the recent Super Falcons performance against Zambia. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Sam.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's my pleasure being here.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, even to our viewers.
Yeah, Queens, one question came to mind.
Okay.
What was the experience like? How did it feel for you to be a Super Eagles goalkeeper?
Well, I've always felt all the feelings of repulsion and reverse. I've always felt good because then it used to be far better than what it is now. When you come to National Stadium, you see crowd everywhere will be filled up. Before 10, 11, 12 in the afternoon, the whole place is already filled up.
Yeah.
Unlike now that you see a lot of people believing and watching the foreign games. So that time, once you stand out, it used to be 16 players dressed. Once you stand out and you are among the 16 dressed, and the national anthem is being played, you put your hand on your chest and you are singing the national anthem, you feel so great. It looks as if the world is coming down on you. So it's great. And that time is on merit. They invite you based on merit, what you can do wherever you are seen in the country, any part of the country. I was playing for Vasco then, and I was picked in Kaduna by the then national team coaches, Hamilton and this. So you could see, unlike what is happening now, you just see somebody being invited and whatever. Well, I'm not trying to downgrade any situation, but that is what it looks like there. So it's great. It feels very, very great representing our country. So I was happy playing for the country and also coming back to coach the same national team.
Okay. With what happened on Friday with at WAFCON with the Nigeria versus Zambia, watching that match, how did you feel realizing that Nigeria had just gotten 5-0 against Zambia?
It's great, because you want to derive a lot of confidence from your past performance going forward. Having given a team that needed it, they needed those goals. The Zambians needed those goals. You know why? They made a lot of noise. A lot of noise in the social media, a lot of noise because they had once won us, was it last year or something like that, and so the noise was so much, and that triggered and made the Falcons. We have a lot of superstars there. They felt so bad and they were angered, and so they were coming from the angle of being angry in order to demolish these people, and they planned it so strategically well that they had to marshal out their plans well, and it worked out. Because goals decide matches, and when you have a plan, a strategy for a particular match, and the goal starts coming as early as 6 minutes into the game, then you feel so happy and more confident. So the goal is the difference, makes the difference in the game, and the more the goals continue to come, the more confident you appear to be, and you begin to, execute your plans freely and okay. But if in the course of trying to go into a game, you consider a goal, we normally hear a goal is considered against the run of play. You are playing better and well, but you consider a goal. Once you consider a goal, it changes the complexion of the game, and you start struggling, and your plans may not be arranged as you're supposed to be. Panic will come in, and a lot of mistakes will follow.
All right, let's look at the commencement of the African women football competition. 12 times they've played. The Super Falcons have won 9 times. This is a great one for the Nigerian players. Now, the question is, coming to the 10th winning, do they have what it takes to win? Even if Nigerians, some people still have their reservations, looking at how they're scoring, the number of their scores have been degrading. Each time it's like it keeps coming down, although they've been winning. But this time around, do they have what it takes? Or is it a matter of luck?
No, it's not a matter of luck. They have what it takes.
Okay.
I will tell you why.
Okay.
You see, over the years, the Super Falcons were having it so easy, thrashing every team with wide margin of goals. But along the line, some countries started picking up, started closing up. So when it looks as if it is not still the then Super Falcons, just because so many countries are closing up, they cannot continue to be sleeping and be considering all those goals. They need to, like South Africans, we've won them severally, and they have to continue practicing, and they have all it takes as far as the managerial aspect of it is concerned. Tactically, technically, they have everything. So they continue to, practice and work hard. So also other teams. So the reason why it looks as if our Falcons looks as if they are not ready for it is because some other teams are closing up. But that is not the case. Okay. They are still the Super Falcons. They are still great. They are still, when you look at the individual performances, the individual players, and collectively, then putting it collectively, you now believe that they are still great. All they need to do is to marshal out their plans well, play with respect, respecting the oppositions, and they are good to go.
What do you mean by play with respect? Was there any form of disrespect?
Yeah, sometimes when you are always winning, the tendency is that you may relax. You may want to underrate certain teams. And once you do that, it is to your own peril. You must not do that. In the game of football, anything can happen. Even when you possess the game better, tactically, technically, and otherwise, you may still lose the game. And that is when people will say the god of soccer is against you. That's, So from the word go, you must respect the opposition. Once you show respect that the opposition can do it, then you see that you continue to give your all, your grade A performance. And once that performance is always there, you will just continue to excel.
Would you say that Zambia had failed in this match against the Super Falcons because they had underestimated their performance due to the previous one they had in the past?
No, I wouldn't say that. It's just that they took their luck too far. They believe that having won the Super Falcons before, that they can still do it. And when you look at the trend, the games, the last match of the Falcons in the group stage was a draw, 0-0 game against Algeria. So they themselves also played draw, but it was 2-2. But they believe that, and against Botswana, you remember that we struggled. It was only one goal towards the 9 minutes, even towards the injury time. So they felt that, yes, they can do it again. They continued making a lot of noise. And I must give it to our coach. He calmed down and watched the terrain, watched the situation, had a good plan. And even went to the extent of sidelining a great player and former captain like Oshola. and went out with all strikers affair. It was attacking football throughout, but being very, very careful and cautious in the defense. And when you look at that defense, you see that they've not considered any goal, and which means that is what I meant by saying that they are respecting their oppositions. They respect the oppositions, but there is nothing like overconfidence, and there's nothing like fear. So you just give that necessary respect. In case when you are countering, you are attacking, you must form your defense line and your defensive midfielders in a way that if there is a counter, you will not be caught napping. And they have a great goalkeeper too. Defense is good, and with midfield, good midfielders that joins the attack, and even some defenders also overlap and join the attack. You could see Ohale scoring. So, and that is how to build a team. I give it to the coach. He has built a good team from behind to up. Because if you want to build a house, you must make sure that the foundation is great, strong, and the strength, have the necessary strength that will carry whatever you are putting on top.
I was coming to that, okay, because still on Zambia, of course, the Super Falcons, we have the likes of Barbara Banda. She's been a strong player for the Zambians, right? How come she wasn't able to score against Nigeria? What is the secret of the coach of the Super Falcons? What is the coach doing to have kept this team from getting pregnant with goals?
Yes, because it's part of the strategy. Or when you are playing any team, you must watch the team, check their strategy, how they play, and then watch their own weakness. And then you now capitalize on your own strength against the opponent's weakness. And when the player you just mentioned is very dangerous and has scored, I think 3 goals or what. So you see that he decided to map out a player to take good care of him, warning him seriously that is where any dangerous play or plan might come from. So once he was taken good care of, just like in the days of our Super Eagles, Okocha and the Ulysses, once you cut them off, the passes that will come to Rashidi and the strikers up front will not be getting through. And once those passes are not getting through, then it is very, very difficult. That is what they did, trying to checkmate those ones that can be dangerous, and believing in the strength of our players and the power play. We have the strength, we have the tall guys, and they are good on the air. So he decided to use the crosses, the long balls, and outwitting the opponents.
Okay, let's look at the skill and the tactics of our Super Falcons. So far, the previous game that they were not doing so well. It's just in this match with Zambia that they done excellently well. What are those faults? What are those gaps that you could actually see through and see that these things need to be worked on?
Well, they started well along the line. In every competition, the group stage is always tough. So you will be mindful of what you are doing and how you are carrying out your game plan, because you just need to qualify fast from your group. So it's always like that. When you see competition, as the competition goes on, you see the games changing. You see everybody, because there are certain plans you would have wanted to see how it will go. It started with Osola, and then you now find out that maybe, possibly, I wouldn't know, but there are rumors that there are some act of indiscipline which I wouldn't confirm because I'm not in the camp. But the coach that I know believes in discipline, and discipline is the name of the game. So if you feel at any given time a particular player is not ready to give you what you want, you adjust. And that was what I noticed. He adjusted, and they played all out attackers, 3 attackers that are deadly, including the defenders and the defensive midfielder joining the attack. So you could see that anybody can score at any given time. So he changed his game plan. You watch the selection, you see that he adjusted in the selection, and that is why he got the type of result he saw. And your selection will always be based on the opponent you are playing. The tactics you are playing, the strategy you want to adopt will always depend on the type of players you have. If you want to use breakthroughs, then you must have fast attackers. You can see that even an attacker like Ajibade is still playing behind the attackers, occasionally opening up to the side. So, but you see that him is still an outright attacker that could start from the wing or from the front. So he himself, Yezo, Koronko, all of them are deadly, and they are. In fact, I don't see, except the laxity if he comes in, which I've told you that the coach is not ready to allow that. So once they continue with their all seriousness and that respect that I always talk about, I think they will end they will still get the trophy.
Still looking at the Super Falcons performance. Remember we talked about how each time they come to play, their scores keep declining somehow. Does it really matter to Nigerians? Because it seems some field of thoughts are concerned. People are not really impressed. You know, you each time you come, it's like you keep doing backward with your scores. But at the end of the day, they do win. Should one be concerned about that? The end goal of every competition, is it not to win? Is it about the number of scores out of the goal, the play? But then what's your thought on that?
Well, I disagree with you. Because in the sense that you say as they are playing their scores, the number of goals are declining.
It's just with the Zambia that it was
the
stable.
first game was 4-0. The first game, 3-0 against Tunisia. It wasn't a bad one. The second one was the one you could say that yes, the opponent was very, very stubborn, and they managed to score one goal. Then the last one, yes, okay, they played 0-0. That, there's a factor that one could say affected that game. What is the factor? They have already qualified. And in this tournament, when you are playing the group stage, there's the politics of the game, not necessarily politics, but the tactical plan that you need to also look at. When you come first, who is the likely opponent that you will meet in the quarterfinals? When you come second, who is the likely opponent? As you are playing, you are watching the other group. The opponent that is likely to come out there, the second position or the first position. So all this, once you know you have qualified, it is not right to give out everything, injury plans, and then you need to also rest some players and also see some players. But when they came to the game proper, the quarterfinals, it was 5-0.
Okay.
So then, coming to your question, in a game of football, you only need to win. Win is the important thing there. Forget about whether you score 10 goals or especially in the knockout stages. If you win by 1-0, you have already won. If it is the final match, you just win 1-0, you have won. So the important thing first is to win. Then it is after that you begin to talk about the number of goals. You need to score one before you talk of 2, 3, 4, and go on.
Don't you think that's risky? You know, if you really have your aim at something, you know, you're looking at something higher, maybe you want to have an A, you know, and you're not getting an A, you fall on B. Starting with that kind of score, don't you think they are getting relaxed, overconfident, just like Queen's earlier mentioned about the Zambians, you know, knowing the likes of Barbara on their team and the noise they made, they felt like we are conquering them, and look at where they got themselves. Don't you think these people, the Falcons, are gradually maybe getting too relaxed, that they'll be winning? 12 times and 9 times they won. And if you think you don't have to do too much, just win it could get you out of it. Nearly may not actually get there.
I get your point, but the issue is this. You must be very, very careful and cautious. Now, you need to score more goals. Quite all right. But it depends on how the game is moving. For example, once you have been attacked, your house is on fire.
Yeah.
You first of all come back to defend. Organize yourself and attack. When you get a goal, they say the best way of defending is attack. You want to defend that one goal, it is better you attack the opponent. They will always be going back, retrieving themselves, trying to defend, and they will not get the time to equalize, or you even get more goals. So that is good and the best. But then you must be very, very careful. If you score, instead of conceding, allowing equalizer, it is better you hold on the one you have. So while you are watching the way you attack, as you are attacking, you are watching the opponent and giving them that respect that they could counter you and equalize, and that will be too bad. So in as much as you want to score more goals, you still have to be cautious in the defense.
Let's look. Okay.
Looking at the next, Nigerians are supposed to play next against either Ghana or South Africa if either of them lose out of the match. Looking at the strengths of the two teams, Ghana and South Africa are supposed to play, and then afterwards, whichever one that stands.
Nigeria is playing South Africa.
That's what I'm saying. After Ghana and South Africa, after their match, so Nigeria will play. So looking at the statistics of things that has happened before, what do you think will be the fate of the Super Falcons?
The fate of Super Falcons is that they are champions.
Against this team?
Everybody.
Are you being optimistic right now, or you're stating the fact?
You must act like champions.
Okay.
Excluding overconfidence.
Okay.
If you want to win a cup, a tournament, you must be ready to play against anybody that comes to the tournament. They are good, they are the best. Rating wise, they are first. That is something on the national world rating, and first in Africa. Playing against second in Africa and 50 something in the world. That is South Africa. Then it is not going to be easy. They know that the South Africans are always a tough side. They've won them before. They've won Super Eagles before. So we know that we have gotten more. There's no way, even if they win today, you still want to rate, we are still better ahead of them. But if you want to maintain your status, you must continue to win. And one of the games that they will never want to lose is against South Africa. And South Africa too will do everything. So that is going to be a very tough one. Highly interesting. The better side will still win. And I believe that the Super Falcons are the better side. They have an edge when you analyze the two teams. Individually coming together to play. They have, when you talk of physicality, they are better. They are taller. They have experience. Better. Higher than South Africa. But all these statistics, because I do not so much believe in statistics. But when you play a game, first half, they will bring out the whole statistics. I've seen a game where Mourinho, when he was with Chelsea, played against Barca, and it was almost 90% possession to 10. They still won the match. One chance by Didier Drogba. It's all over. So what I'm saying is that leave statistics. And that is what they did against Zambia. Power play. Pushing forward, getting to the target. No fanciful play, even though my name is fancy. No, but you must be very, very cautious and attacking conscious and direct to the objective of the game. When you rub the game, pass through, everybody says you are playing well. I don't believe in that. That you come out and say somebody has played well, played better, good passes, and at the end of the day, he lost the game. What is that? The name of the game is good. And it has not been changed that, yes, the number of passes by an opponent makes them win a match until it is said so, or it is changed, then we talk about that. But what is important is to score a goal. And the goal must be planned and whatever. In the olden days, you have a fast attacker. There could be a pass from goalkeeper to the attack, depending on the standing of the defenders. When they are not standing well, the attacker is taking a good position. You just drop the ball, and that's one of the strategies they use. Dropping the ball behind the opponent. They believe that they can outplay them, power play and speed. And use it and get your goal. Once you get the goal, if you like, you get 1, 2, 3 goals. Then if you like, you start passing, counting passes. So that is the thing. The important thing is to win. And I do not believe that you can tell me that somebody won a game and you say he didn't play well. The opponent played better. That is not.
But it happens.
Yeah, but
It happens, but who do you give the cup at the end of the day?
The winner.
okay, the winner. That brings my mind to, Oshoala. We need to talk about her. Asisat. She's a record breaker. She's doing well for herself and for Africa, for Nigeria. But then again, she's been on the team so far, and people are of the opinion that she's not really doing well, coming from her records from other clubs, from outside team, right? Some Nigerians are even suggesting maybe it's time for her to, leave the team. Like, since your light is not shining here, don't come and spoil your name here. Why not just be where you are and you're doing great there? What's your thoughts on that?
We should not be quick in discarding the young lad. We should not be too quick in saying that he's finished, he should retire also. He is the one, he's a professional. He has done a lot for Nigeria, for the game, 6-time African Footballer of the Year. It's not an easy thing. So let him be the decider of his own fate vis-a-vis his performances. He started the game, he scored a goal. It is a teamwork. And nobody should say Oshoala is not doing well or is doing well. So I saw a write-up, I don't know whether it's a rumor, is he planning to retire? Definitely, he will retire someday. But for now, I think he's still doing well. And don't forget that there are so many ways to contribute to the development, the progress and performance of a team. He could do that psychologically, physically, mentally, and otherwise. And he being there as a person means a lot. So I give him her due respect, and we should be patient enough whenever she feels like and decides to quit or retire. We give her the accolades that she deserves.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the welfare of our players down here in Nigeria. Just as you rightly mentioned at the beginning of this interview, that things have changed, people's expectation and also how interested they are in the game. Let's look at welfare. What has really changed in the welfare of the players? We keep seeing people talk about how they are not being managed properly, they're not taken care of, they're not attended to the right way. What exactly do you think we are getting wrong in the management of our players?
Well, you will never compare the way we manage our players here in Nigeria to what is happening abroad. And that's why you see the players always leaving to abroad. However, we are trying. The managers are trying. The NFF is improving every day by day. I remember when we played we could just be given a little thing, but later everything continued to improve. The allowances, the every other thing is well taken care of now. Even though there is room, always room for improvement. We can always improve. But I want to tell you that things are improving. When you look at the club size, you will see that things are paying better. Even the women football, it used to be very, very low. The allowances we pay to them, you cannot compare it to the men. But you can see that they are closing the gap. And a lot is being done. They are happy, and but all I want to say is that we can always improve and do better, because that area is very, very vital. And we need to, even though we are getting top coaches in the national team, we always bring the foreigners. We will not want to say that we bring foreign managers. We are doing well, but we can do better. And I want them to continue to do well. And if they're not doing well, the motivation will not be there. And that is why the team is doing well. And they continue to win. If they win this one again now, I know government will come out and clean their faces very well.
Let's talk about the passion, right, in the soccer world in Nigeria. I remember when we started the conversation, you said back then when you were a goalkeeper for the Super Eagles, how people come out in their numbers to watch the match, how it was so glorious. Somehow you can't really compare that to now. The fan base is not as much as it was back then. What could be the challenge?
The challenge, one of the factors that I might think that affected that and caused that was, one, the so much interest in foreign games. Back then, the technology level was not up to what it is now. You could say that in on the television and even on your phone, you can see the pictures of matches abroad. And most time, when it clashes with the one here, you see people trying to divert their attention and interest. The major thing is the interest. There are a lot of things we are not doing well here, but later, as the game was improving and we are doing well, it becomes very difficult to bring their interest back. You see people forming alliance, forming groups, that they are Arsenal supporters, that are Chelsea supporters, that are Man U supporters, and all those things are affecting our game and draining the interest. So that was what happened. But gradually, when the managers and the NFF and everybody, the people handling the MPFL, they saw what was happening, they decided to make some adjustments, and you could see that the fans are coming back to the game. In 2016, when I was with Rangers, we won the league here. The then organizers introduced evening games, night games, and when you come to the stadium here, you will not see any space. And so, giving out some gifts, some prizes, and a lot of things. Those are things they did to bring people back. And then it is better now, but we can still do better.
Let's come to the federal government, investing in the football game in Nigeria. I don't know about now. Maybe you update us on that. I don't know if I'll say I'm very right on this. I know that there are some football fields that they are sands. They're not even field. You don't have you barely see professional fields. And then these are popular clubs coming to play on that field. These have been challenges that most footballers witness. Even if you're talking about fan base, even if some football lovers would like to come to watch, where would they be? Is it in areas that there are no chairs, proper places to sit, or security,
even the
roof, sun and rain and what have you? Do you think the government is not doing enough, to fortify this sector?
Definitely. It is a very big problem. In the first instance, You want to do it right, government should not be in charge of football. The club sides are supposed to be owned by individuals. But you see in Nigeria, most of the clubs are owned by government.
Yeah.
And so, in as much as the state governments, most of them, that are trying, providing the enabling, because what that is their duty, to provide the enabling environment and allow people to use the facilities. But they are trying, but they can do better. And when you look at the various stadia, you see that there are a lot of problems on in the stadium generally. And you look at the facilities,
Yeah.
you look at the turf itself. That is why the Oyibos are great in whatever they do. They manage this thing perfectly well. They don't joke with it. You can see when an Oyibo player will score a goal and celebrate it by kneeling down and spraying
With no injury.
No, if you need to try it here and see whether
No.
whether
Your skin will not
whether
peel.
you get up. So that is the thing. We need to do a lot on that aspect. You see, it's not always easy. You have the experts. We professionals advising the government, telling them what to do. But it has never been easy. You know, the government has its budget. It comes back to what I said before about interest. You have a governor that does not have interest in football. You're on your own. You talk from now till tomorrow, he will not listen to you. So the interest must be there. And when they are appointing their various commissioners, on the national side, it becomes a sports commissioner or minister for sports. It has to be somebody that knows it, that have interest, that comes from that family. You cannot just call a lawyer to come and be managing. You can be a lawyer, but if he plays the game and he knows the game, then fine. But so that is the point we are talking about. A commissioner for sports needs to advise the governor properly.
But the question in my mind right now is that the football club business, is it lucrative? Because it seems the politicians are not really interested in that area. Maybe that's why they're not investing in it and make sure that money comes out of it.
It's more than lucrative.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a very big business.
Okay.
You can see what Tsunami is doing in Remo. And when you sell a player, you know how much it is. It is about doing the business properly, the way it's supposed to be, for you to get the necessary gains that it's supposed to get. But for lucrative aspect of it, wonderful. We're very, very lucrative.
All right. Thank you so much
you
for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
Okay, our conversation was on recent Super Falcons performance against Zambia. If you're just joining us, we have concluded this conversation, but you can watch it again on our YouTube page since it's still there. Our guest in the studio is Ewolu Fancy, former Flying Eagles goalkeeper. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you for
welcome.
coming.
Thanks, and God bless.
See Nature TV. News in your pocket.